Hello out there, YouTube community. As you can see, I got my tinfoil hat on because us conspiracy theorists are only up about 43-0 on the federal government right about now. Today's video, I'll be covering more about liberals. As you can see, I have my favorite shirt to represent the true American dream of what real constitutional, patriotic Americans want in this country. They no longer want the wife, the kids, and the house, and the white picket fence. They just want to see liberals in prison where they belong, starting with Barack Hussein Hitler. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about the 8 steps towards communism. Okay? Number 1, healthcare. Control healthcare, you control the people. Now, last time I checked, it's called Obamacare. Yeah, you can't blame the conservatives and Bush for that one. Poverty. Increase the poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control and will not fight back if you provide everything for them to live. Now, which political party likes to promote all the welfare and entitlement programs? They don't want any spending cuts, and they want to spend, and borrow, and tax. Well, that wouldn't be the conservatives. Can't blame Donald Trump for that one. But you can blame Barack Hussein Hitler. We went from $9 trillion worth of debt to over 20 in just 8 years of him being in office. Which brings us to number 3, debt level. Increase the debt level to an unsustainable level. That way you are able to increase taxes and create a police state. Our current debt to GDP ratio is unsustainable. It's over 100% of our GDP. Gun control. Remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. That way you are able to create a police state. I got that from debt. Produce more poverty. Okay. Anyway. Welfare, take control of every aspect, food, housing, income of their lives, and that make them fully dependent on the government. Once again, would this be the Republicans or the Democrats, people? These would be Democrats. Education, take control of what people read and listen to, and take control of what children learn in school. Once again, we have the Democrats trying to push certain things like critical race theory, which is that you're racist based on your genetics. I've never studied any of that in science, but apparently the liberals. Religion, remove belief in God from the government and schools because the people need to believe in only the government knowing what's best for the people. Well, listen, folks, if you want to turn on your TV and listen to what the federal government says they're doing to make the world a better place, just remember how they fucked up the gas can, okay? Class warfare. Divide the people into wealthy and the poor. Eliminate the middle class. And I'm going to cover that. I found an article about that from Nazi Germany. Okay. And once again, who's always pointing the finger at the rich versus the poor? And ain't the Republicans. That'd be the Democrats. So I'm not saying that, the liberal Democrats are Nazis. All I'm saying is I'm seeing a pattern, and I never doubt patterns, folks. So let's take a look at how the Nazis used gun control. In 1933, the ultimate extremist group led by Adolf Hitler seized power and used records to identify, disarm, and attack political opponents and Jews. Constitutional rights were suspended, and mass searches and seizures of guns and dissidents publications ensued. Police revoked gun licenses of social democrats and others who were not politically reliable. So Hitler used gun control. National health care in Germany. Let's see. I know it's in here because I've printed this one up before. Here we go. By the time of the Weimar, that was the extremist organization led by Hitler, German doctors had become accustomed to cooperating with the government in the provision of medical care. The reforms of the Weimar Republic following the medical crises of World War I included government policies to provide healthcare services to all citizens. Socially minded physicians placed great hope in new healthcare system, calling for a single state agency to overcome fragmentation and lack of influence of individual practitioners and local services. The focus of medicine shifted from private practice to public health, and from treating disease to preventable health care. During German economic consolidation, public health did improve against some things. All right. Now, medical concerns, which largely had been in the private domain of the 19th century, became a concern of the state. The physician began to be transformed into a functionary of state-initiated laws and policies. Doctors slowly began to see themselves as more responsible for the public health of the nation than for the individual health of the patient. Do you see what's being written here, folks? It may have improved initially, kind of like the way the liberal media touted about how Obamacare gave so many people health care that didn't have benefits before. But then after about a few years, only 4, in this case, historically 8 or 5, doctors became more worried about the public health of the nation rather than the individual health of a patient. Now, when you go to the doctor and you're sick, they're supposed to care about your specific ailments. They're not supposed to care about Joe Schmo down the road. Moving on. Trade unions in Nazi Germany. Let's see. Where was it at? Hitler created the German Labor Front. This was the Nazi Party creating one labor union for the entire country, and they looked after the working class. So the working class was fully dependent on the state. Now, which political party likes to promote labor unions? As I recall, Tim Ryan said he likes his coffee strong, union strong. Never mind all the union businesses that are out of bankrupt and out of business in my area from Tim Ryan and his union strong policies. The Nazis towards women. Employment. Measures were introduced which strongly discouraged women from working, including introduction of law of reduction for unemployment, which gave women financial incentives to stay at home. And female labor was cheap between 1933 and 1939. They actually had a women's rights movement in Germany after World War II because of Hitler giving female labor being cheap. But I like the part about them passing a law that gave women financial incentives to stay at home, because isn't it the Democrats that want to give women paid leave for maternity and all kinds of sick pay and stuff like that for them to sit at home when they were working if they get pregnant? Because Hitler was very sexist. His ideal vision on women were children, kitchen, and church. I kid you not. Okay? And what do the liberal Democrats like women to do? They like them to get pregnant so they become dependent on the state through welfare systems and child support. They want to pass policies to keep them at home for maternity leave and sick pay. The Nazi war on Christianity. Yeah, they removed God from the schools. Once again, what political party again? Like I said, folks, I'm not saying the Democrats are Nazis. All I'm saying here is I'm seeing a pattern of behavior, and I never doubt patterns. And this is the best one of all. This is something that many historians do not know about the Nazis. The Nazis promoted environmental issues. They didn't actually care about them, but they used the propaganda to gain support from the German people. Well, that sounds real familiar. I've heard of that being done somewhere recently in the United States with carbon dioxide and climate change. And last time I checked, I'm pretty sure that's the liberal Democrats also, folks. I mean, there's all kinds of different themes here in Nazi propaganda. They hated capitalism. They could not stand capitalism. The Democrats hate capitalism. They hate working for a living. Like I said, folks, every day when you wake up, especially with me being unemployed right now, I'm waiting on my safety training at my new job. I got plenty of time to learn from history. Okay, every day you can open that Bible. You can turn on this computer and you can learn from past human history so we don't repeat the same mistakes. Or you can turn that television on and you can trust fucking government. You know what you can't do? You cannot do both. Thanks for watching.